30 libras. Lo que me encanta de Fit Body Bootcamp es que somos una familia.
Al mes ya estaba viendo resultados. Comencé a bajar de peso rápidamente. Desde que comencé he bajado alrededor de 20 libras y 10% de grasa.
So far, my results, I've lost 30 pounds and about 8% body fat since I started.
With the nutrition and the workouts, I've lost about 40 plus pounds. I have reduced in my dress sizes from size 16 to a size 10. And not only that, but I feel a lot more confident now. I'm not as shy anymore, and I feel a lot stronger as well. Before, I couldn't even do a push-up.
And ever since I joined, I've seen major results. I lost 60 pounds, dropped from a 48 in pant size down to a 38.
You get the workout you need in just such a short period of time, 30 minutes.
The environment here is really awesome. It gets me going, it gets me motivated to stay another round and to really push.
I love the 30 minutes. I love that it constantly changes. It's perfect.
They're always paying attention to what you need.
I have never seen the results that I'm seeing right now.
They're the kind of workouts that you want to do to give you that tone, fit body you really want.
He perdido 30 libras.
I've lost about 77 pounds and I've gone from a size 18-20 to a size 6.
30 minutos, trabajé partes de mi cuerpo que nunca pensé que fuera a trabajar. Estoy muy contenta hasta ahora, he bajado 30 libras. Lo que me encanta de Fit Body Bootcamp es que somos una familia.
Al mes ya estaba viendo resultados. Comencé a bajar de peso rápidamente. Desde que comencé he bajado alrededor de 20 libras y 10% de grasa.
So far, my results, I've lost 30 pounds and about 8% body fat since I started.
With the nutrition and the workouts, I've lost about 40 plus pounds. I have reduced in my dress sizes from size 16 to a size 10. And not only that, but I feel a lot more confident now. I'm not as shy anymore.
So 115 pounds since day one. I'll say this. Well, I remember whenever you got started, and I was thinking about this the other day. Whenever I reached out to you to let you know, I was thinking, and I wanted to bring this up because I literally remember the day, and probably Flo remembers too. Whenever we were like weeks before we opened Alton Glory facility. And she had just worked out, and someone was like, "Hey, Alex, like, hey, my husband just told me that, we were driving by Alton Glory, and that we had the sign there that it said coming soon."
Yeah.
And she told me, we passed by there, and he said, "You know what? Maybe I should give it a shot." Right? She told me that you had said that, and I remember I told her, "Hey, you know what? Give him this gift card." I don't know if you probably remember that gift.
Yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that.
Because I thought, you know what, it came from you. It had come from you at that time. So, you know what, this might be the opportunity to have you come in. So that was probably November, December of 2019, right?
2018, right? The end of 2018? Yeah.
No, 2019. I'm sorry, 2018. Yeah? Okay, yeah, 2018 because we opened 2019 of last year. That's right. And then you decided to come in, right? Day one. So how was that like? Like, how would you say, like, what was that scenario? Like maybe months prior to you coming in for a workout, like how would you say your life was before? Before you took that step?
That's an interesting question, but I go back to this. I feel like I was dying on the couch. And that may sound extreme to some people, but I really feel that way. I had no energy. I would fall asleep everywhere. I couldn't drive from here to McAllen without getting sleepy. I mean, I was on blood pressure medication at that point. Yeah. And I just didn't feel well. And my big thing was I was afraid. My first step was difficult because I didn't know if I had deteriorated to the point where working out would honestly kill me. I would tell Flo all the time, my wife, I go, I think I'm going to go in there and I don't know if I'll come out. I think my mentality is ready to take the plunge. I just don't know if my body can handle it. Did I wait too long? Maybe I should go do a surgery or something and lose a little bit of weight, and then go in. You know, can my knees handle it? My knees were bothering me just walking around. How am I going to go jump around? I can't do that. And then I'm competitive by nature. I said, I'm going to try. I'm going to think I'm 18, 19, 20, and I know I'm not. So that was the toughest part for me, getting in there, and I was worried. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And she said, no, you know, I'll be right there next to you. She supported me, and, you know, she's my everything. She was my inspiration. She was everything to get me in the door. And going through that first day with you, walked through that first day with me, you and her, and I remember seeing the look on her face, because I know her very well after 20 plus years. She was nervous. And I saw that, I go, wow, she's even nervous for me. I go, this may be more difficult than I thought. And I remember not being able to breathe, doing a sit-up. I couldn't even breathe on my back. And, you know, we pushed through, and you walked me through it. I could never thank you enough. I tell people to this day, you know, Alex saved my life. Alex saved my life. I don't know if I would be here today, you know, April of 2020, you know, had Alex not gone that extra mile with me and helped me so much in the very beginning. I was ready to quit every day. Every day I was like, oh, I can't do it. I'm too sore. I couldn't go up my stairs at my house. I was that sore. And then I was stubborn. I didn't want to take anything for the pain. I was like, no, I don't need to take anything. I'm a man. I can do it. And no, it's crazy. That's not how it works. You know, everything works together, and, you know, you need all the support and everything to get through it. Yeah, that's a true story of how it was. It was, I would say, after the first month, I was good. I was in a routine. I was going once a day. I think it was 2 months. It was about 2 months. I think it was Kron was the one that said, why don't you just do another one? You just go in there, just walk through it. He goes, I won't push you. He goes, just walk. Something like that was said to me, because she would stay for 2, and I would wait. And then I started going through it. So, and that's how it started with me doing 2.
Yeah. And
once in a while, she'll get me to do 3, but that kills me. Sandra kills me 3. 3, I can't really do 3 with Sandra. She kills me. But it's a lot of fun. It's been a ride. It's been a ride.
For sure. Wow. Yeah. I think you know, well, every time we talk about it, you know, it's just thinking of how far you've come since that day, but how sometimes it all comes down to just taking that decision, right, and pushing yourself through it. Because, like you mentioned, I'm sure probably those first 4, 5, 6 weeks weren't easy, right? But you still push through it. And well, in the way I see it, you know, it's that's where, you know, with our team, it's just so important that we, and this is something that we talk about all the time. It's like, we understand that every person that walks in through the door, right, because at this point sends us a message online, right? This week has a story, right? There's a story behind every member, and it's our responsibility and it's our work, right, to try to take that story and take it from a negative to a positive.
Yeah.
But again, it's a team effort, right? It's a team effort, and it's your effort too, because at the end of the day, you know, you're the one that's putting all the hard work. And I always tell members, whenever we do orientations, I usually say, you know, like, it's easy for me to tell you that you can do it, right? When we do orientations, I say that because you're going to be the one that's going to put in all the work, right? But we've seen too many members done it before, so there is no reason for why you shouldn't be able to accomplish it, right? And I'm sure I've had this conversation with you before, which is, we have these conversations with members all the time of the results and how they're doing and everything. And every time I have that conversation, I was like, I wish this client that just came in through the door the other day would hear this. Because sometimes all they need is that, you know, that story, and say, you know what, I can do it also. But yeah, now, and well, I know, talking about who you were before, and back when you were in high school, like, you used to play sports, you were always an active guy, playing football, competitive by nature, right? So I think that your mindset also helped you out a lot, right? Because once you got started, you just pushed through it, right?
I joke with people and tell people that you found that switch in my brain and you turned it back on. Yeah. I think I had it for a really long time, and you turned it back on, and now it's just, I mean, we go, and it's fun. It's not work for us anymore. I mean, it's part of our day, and I don't get to work out as much with my wife as I used to. But when we go now, we have a blast, because now we can compete with each other. Whereas in the beginning, I mean, she basically rolled me around that place in the beginning. Well, now, you know, I can push her. There's some things I can do that she can't. And I'm like, hey, I pat myself on the back. I pat myself on the back because, you know, she was tearing me up for a good, better part of a year. It took until about a month ago where I saw that there were a few things that I could, the box jump, I did the box jump for the first time, straight up jump and spot. I was so proud of myself. And then I was like, hey, and then we started to both do it together. And I mean, that was big, that was huge. It's for me to get to that point, because I would have, if you would have told me at the summer of 2018, would I be, you know, doing a box jump side by side with my wife, I would have thought you're crazy. You know, I'll be sitting down on TV and by that time I could have time for that.
Wow.
But no, it can be done. It can be done. A little
Yeah,
slow.
I
It's a marathon.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's a good point, right? It's a marathon, right? It's a continuing thing and it's about, you know, daily doing those things, because I'm sure, well, I mean, it doesn't get easier, right? It doesn't get easier. Now it's a habit. Now it's a routine, right? You have fun doing it. But doing the little things don't get easier, right? It's just a matter of doing the things that you know that you need to do, right? I also remember, Dale, that it must have been about summertime of last year now, right? 2019. I can't remember. I think, yeah, it was I don't remember you sent me a text or it was a morning that I saw you in Alton Glore, that you told me that you had gone to the beach.
Oh, yes.
To the beach. And that day, like you were just playing, you know, with the girls. You were awake, right? I know you remember you telling me that, like prior to that, if it was an outing like at the beach or something, you would probably be, you know, sleeping or something, right?
Yeah, that's a true story. Or just not doing much of anything, maybe just lounging, not doing much of anything. And we were there the whole day, and we ran and we swam and we played. And, you know, it didn't really dawn on me, you know, we cooked and out. And when we were driving home, everybody was wasted and asleep. And it's a short little 25-minute drive, you know, from the beach. And I got really emotional, you know. I was like, wow, I was wide awake. I was driving. I could have kept going. Literally, we left because the kids got tired. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I woke my wife up because, you know, I got emotional. But I was like, hey, wow, it's crazy. You know, it meant a lot. It meant a lot. And if I could have called you right then and there, I wanted to talk to you like right then and there, just to tell you thank you for everything, you know, that you guys have done for us. You have given us, I feel, no matter what happens after today, because we don't know what could happen tomorrow, but no matter what, you guys have made a difference in my life. You know, you've changed my life. And I say you've given me an opportunity to live a longer, healthier life, regardless of what happens tomorrow or the next day. The opportunity is there because of the services that you provide, because you go above and beyond. It's not just a job to you and your team, you know, it's what you make us feel. It's what you truly believe. It's not just a job, you know. Fit family is a very true thing. That's the way we feel. We tell people that, and they kind of look at us sideways, like, what do you mean by that? And I said, no, that's our family. That's our Fit family. That's an extension of our family at the gym. It's not just a gym where you go to, you know, blow off some steam, work out, try to yoke up, you know, you go to better yourself. And to become who you want to become. And it's important. And I know I'll ramble on about things like that, but I truly, truly believe that. I truly, truly believe it. You guys will be a part of our lives forever. You know, even trainers that leave, we still talk to them from time to time. They throw us, you know, where does that happen? I mean, that doesn't happen. And with you, and that's testament to you, the way you hire. You hire not just good trainers, but you hire good people. And that goes a long way. It's all about people. It's all about the Fit family. It's all about the Fit family.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally. Thanks for that. And that's great to hear. And yeah, you know, at the end of the day, you know, just the same way we do things with clients, you know, we have the same approach with our team members, which is, you know, we're a family. And at the end of the day, we all work for the same purpose, which is to improve our client's life. Right. That's it. So thanks for that. You know, sometimes I think I don't take, I'm not too well with taking compliments, because I just think like, okay, I just got to get that next thing. But
like, nope.
But like, I mean, like I always say, you know, you're the one that's putting in all the work, and thank you for that, because I think you motivate us, right? And you motivate, you know, the rest of the Fit family, you know, to keep going and to reach further goals.
And they motivate us. They motivate us. Everybody does. Everybody works really, really hard. Everybody does. You know, you feel so comfortable there because people will ask you questions. Hey, you know, how do you do this or how do you do that? And it's absolutely, you know, you want to do it like this. And I mean, it goes a long way. Everybody helps each other, and I don't think you see that everywhere. I really, really don't. I mean, no matter who it is, from the youngest to somebody who's been there the longest, everybody helps each other out, and that goes so far. It says so much about the business, about the Fit family that we all are.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we try to cultivate that. I think, well, you could probably, you know, see this that, you know, when you go to the training room, you'll see the 19-year-old up to our, you know, member who is 69 years old, right? And, well, you know, we work with every different population, modify workouts any way we can. But, and like you said it, right? You said it right now, which is, it's not about coming in, you know, and see how much you can lift or how much you can do, but it's just about getting better. It's about improving your life to get into a better place tomorrow than when you were yesterday. And that's the mentality, right? That's the mindset. And, you know, we definitely try to pass that down to everyone. I'll ask you this, Dale. So as a father, how do you feel that this past year and a half that you started taking care of your health, how has that influenced and impacted your family, your daughters, even for the future? How do you think about that?
Okay, that's a very good question. The mentality on my whole household has changed. It was one thing when my wife was doing it because she's a trailblazer. She started doing it first. But I think when they saw me start to do it, it really, because they sporadically were messing around going with her. But when they saw me start to do it, they're like, oh, wow, you know, this isn't going anywhere. It was not just a fad that, you know, mom got into that she's going to blow over. When she loses the baby weight, it's going to blow over. Once they saw it was a team effort, I think it's, well, you see, everybody goes now.
Yeah.
Everybody, you know, my daughter in Houston, you know, she works out by what we tell her to do, you know, because she's over there, she's further away. But everybody here, I mean, they put it into their routine and they go when they can. And it's just, even the little one simulates it. She simulates things that we do. And she knows you, she knows who Alex is. And, you know, Sandra, she hears us. It's literally part of our day. We're sitting down having whatever our meal plan is for the day. You know, we're talking, oh, what did y'all do at the gym today? They'll ask, oh, we did this, and this. Or they might have gone in the morning. They'll tell us, oh, Dad, they did this, and this. I mean, it's transformed our family into, I would have never imagined that we would be to the point that we are now, where it's just ingrained 24/7 in everything that we do. And it makes me proud because I think starting them, especially like Kayla, who's 15, starting her now on that path, you know, that's going to set her up to go on for life. Totally. You know, if I would have stayed on that path at that age, 18, 19, 20, 21, you know, wow, you know, it's incredible, you know, what we could have accomplished, because it changes not only your health, but your mentality. You get, not that anybody's ever not confident, but you start to feel confident. You feel good about yourself, you know, after a workout. You know, I always remember what you told me about the afterburn, those early things. And I always try to tell people, oh, we need to sit down and talk to Alex about that afterburn, because when I get home, I still feel it. You know, I don't get home and go to sleep. You know, I get home, okay, what do we got going on? What do we need to do? Boom, 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 boom. And you stay active. And like I said, I didn't know that. I thought, oh, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna go and take a nap. Yeah. And it's like that. If you work out right, you have a lot of energy. As long as you're getting, you know, 7-8 hours of sleep, you're good. That's what you need. And so to answer your question plainly, it's put them all on the right path. And it's because of that first step that my wife took in going.
Yes. That's awesome. That's awesome. How old is Zoe now? How old is she?
Zoe's 4.
She's 4.
4, yeah.
Wow. So
planks and all that kind of stuff. She does mountain climbing.
Started, she must have been what, like 2? No, we didn't.
Oh no. How old was she? She was about 1.
Awesome.
when Flor started.
Yeah. Sorry. You know, and that's another thing that I think, because like I think of this scenario and I think, okay, 5-10 years down the road when she's 10, 15, 20, right? How these decisions that y'all have made today, how is that also going to influence your life? You know?
Right.
Because you know, and I'll tell you from a personal standpoint, because I lived it also, right? I lived it. And honestly, I would tell you that's one of the reasons, well, you guys know the story, right? Which is why we started with this, the promise that I made to my mom, right? And so on. But also just coming, I was, you know, 21, 22 when she passed away. But, you know, just going through that age range and knowing about how maybe not making the healthiest decisions early in life influence in some way, right? So that's also the way I think about it, is whenever I see a scenario, you know, of a parent coming in, is what is that story going to look like in 15 years from today, right? And how the decisions that they make today are going to influence not only them, but their children and their children's children, right? So yeah, and I think you know, the decisions that I have made this past years are going to make a difference. They're going to make a difference.
They are, and that's forward thinking of you to think that way. That's nice. That's nice that you can put the whole perspective like that, and the whole circle. I had never really thought of it until you asked me right now. So yeah, that's interesting. That's nice. It's a nice thought, especially with Zoe. More so is this is all she's ever known. It's all she's ever known is the gym. She's never known another life.
Yeah.
Whereas, Kayla, Sarah, and Julia might have been a little aftershock for them. Like, what's going on? What happened, you know, to mom and dad? You know, but with Zoe, in Zoe's case, that you bring it up, to her, that's all she's ever known. And she wants to go. She wants to go watch. She wants to go and check out. And can I go in there with you guys? Stuff like that. Don't know you can't, but you can watch. you can practice at home. We tell her.
Awesome. And I guess I would ask you this, because I think, well, once you're on the other side, right, maybe for some people that can see it, you can say like, you know what, it's a long journey, right? It's a long way from where I am today. Like if someone is thinking like, how I got to lose, you know, 20, 30, 40, 100 plus pounds, you know, sometimes it could be scary thinking about that number, right? It could be scary to the point that it stops people from taking action today, right? What would you say has been the most difficult part of the journey, and what has helped you overcome that?
The most difficult part of the journey is by far the food. Food is I work around food, so that is the most difficult part. And because my hours are all over the place, sometimes nights, sometimes days. Yeah, it's difficult. You know, that's the hard part. You know, you don't sometimes. My wife works. Sometimes you don't have time to get that meal prep, and you have to try to fix something up and get something close where you're not, you know, going too bad overboard. And that's been the toughest part, to do that. And the way when I get forced in a situation like that, I just power through. I'll try not to overthink it. You know, okay, I have to eat. So I'll eat, you know, I'll try to portion it out and eat a little bit less. And then just, my mentality is go work a little bit harder at the gym tomorrow. I have to. I'll go work a little bit harder. Drink a little bit of extra water before you have to eat that meal, because the water will fill you up. And things like that. You don't get into that gluttonous part where you're just, you want to get to where you're just eating just to eat. Because I think that's what happens. Like now you're at home. You're at home and you have time. You know, you want to eat just to eat. You know, try to eat healthy, carrots, celery, you know, those shakes are great and things like that. So you can keep things to a minimum. And if you do falter, because we're human, don't sweat it. Go back the next day, day one again, just like, you know, anything else. I look at food as a drug. You know, and so if you slip up, you slipped up. Don't beat yourself up about it. Go in the next day and start over again. Day one, here we go. And once you get to a certain, in the beginning, you lose weight really, really fast and you do everything right. And then you kind of plateau out. So you have to change things up. That's where I recommend people go in and talk to you and switch up whatever they're eating, you know, maybe a little less, like the macros, what Eusebio did with the macros. And he gave perfect. And then I say, hey, you know what, I'm not losing. Well, you know, adjust it a little bit, knock down maybe a half ounce here, half ounce there. And you guys help at things like that, and you'll start to lose again.
Yeah.
But it's not going to ever come off like it did the first month. So you can't be watching the scale and expecting to drop. What did I drop? Like 12 pounds 1 week or 13 pounds in the beginning. Yeah, those things are never going to happen again. I'm very well aware of that. So I think you told us that 1 to 2 pounds a week is awesome if you can do that. If you can do that. So when we stay on it and we're doing it and we're doing our workouts the way we're supposed to do them, the weight comes off on its own. It doesn't. It's not work anymore. It's with things like this that you're not on your daily routine where you have to be careful. But that's the biggest thing. The biggest thing is don't lose respect for yourself. You slip, no big deal. Go on, hit it up again tomorrow. Start over. It's a new day. It's a new day.
Totally. Yeah. You know, I think that's awesome that you bring that up because, you know, it's not about perfection, right? It's not about perfection, but it's about making the majority of your decisions right throughout your day, right? If, you know, 75 to 90% of the things that you're doing are looking good, then you're going to be okay, right? So, yeah, like don't let, you know, slip up affect everything and all the hard work that you've been doing. So yeah, you know, I think it's great that you share that. And going back to, you know, well, I wonder being sub because I'm sure the journey doesn't get easier, right? It doesn't just get to a point that you say, oh, I don't like food anymore, right? Like it doesn't get to that point, but it's about making the right decisions, right? Like, okay, you know what? I'm going to drink a little bit more water, you know, put yourself in a position, or like you said, have the right snacks available at home. You know, like if you're at home and you know that there's snacks in the pantry that shouldn't be there, right? Because, you know, it's normal, right? We all, you know, want to go and dig in a little bit to see what's there. But if it's not there, right, then you're more likely to not do bad.
Right.
So, but yeah, you know, I think that's a good point.
Tell people, I tell people all the time, I didn't put the weight on overnight. It was over 20 years of bad habits. So in a year and a half, we've seen what it has been that long, about a year and 5 months. We've seen such progress. Imagine 20 more years of progress. That's the way I look at it. I mean, I'm not going to get there in a day. I totally get that. I understand that. But if we continue the pace that we're going, we're going to get there. There's no doubt about that. We're going to get there because that's what we want. That's the mentality we have. And any small slip up is not gonna end the journey. The journey, you know, you're gonna break that tackle and you're gonna keep running until you get to the end zone. Basically, in football terms, I speak well in football terms. Break that when you get into the end zone. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
That's a great point. You know, sometimes we talk about, you know, there is no such thing as a straight line to success, right? You get started on that journey and then something's gonna happen, right? And then you get back on track and then something's gonna happen, right? But the key is getting back on track. Sometimes having the right support system, right? We know for a fact that makes a difference. Which is something that, you know, we understand that. So we try to make sure that that's a component that we take care of, right? With members, support system. And you were talking right now also about what you were mentioning about the afterburn, right? That's another thing, right? Which is working smart towards a goal. Sometimes it happens so often, you know, and it's normal. There's so much information out there on social media, like this diet, that diet. You know, my coworker is doing that, my other coworker is doing that. And there's so many things out there, but it comes down to what is a client-specific goal, right? And if what we're doing is the smart thing to do towards that specific goal, right? You know, we talk about how what we try to do is do the things that help you speed up your metabolism, because your metabolism works 24 hours. If we can do the little things that make that happen, then your body's going to be more efficient at burning calories for 24 hours, right? Rather, like you were saying, the afterburn, right? Rather than spending, you know, 3 hours doing cardio only to leave and not keep an eye or be smart about what we're eating and so on, right? But yeah, totally. I think that's a big thing. And what I know this week specifically in the group, we're talking about habits, right? And I wonder if you brought that topic up because I know as we're getting into this week 2 or 3, I don't even know what week we're in already for the show to go home, right? It can be very easy to start waking up a little later, right? Going to bed a little later, right? And we start losing track of our habits and routines, and that's dangerous, right? Because we still got a few more weeks of this.
It is scary. It's scary is what it is. For somebody like me, it's like, oh, I've noticed it already. Staying up a little later, waking up a little later.
Yeah.
Out
So
there.
I would even suggest, like set a little schedule, right? Put a schedule, put it on the wall, put it on your mirror, like so you can try to stick to that schedule because it's easy to fall off track. And I guess that's also one of the reasons I wanted to do this interview so that people can hear out there, the journey that you've been through, and how they shouldn't let this for weeks, right, stop them from their fitness goals, right? It's not going to get easier, right? It's not supposed to be easy. These next 4 weeks are not supposed to be easy. It's not the same, right? Because people are used to going to work out, to the gym, if they go to a gym or to the boot camp, right? It's not going to be the same, right? But the question is, what are we doing? What are you doing, right, to keep your habits on track, keep your routines on track? And this week, particularly, we're talking in the group, just focus on 3 things. Work out 3 times a week, drink half of your body weight in ounces, and sleep 6 to 8 hours, right? Yeah. If you make those decisions consistently during your week, you're going to be in the right place when we get to May. Right? But if we don't, May is going to get here regardless, right? The question is, where are we going to be, right? Where are the decisions that we're making daily going to take us? As we're talking right now, I'm thinking, we said we're going to keep it short, but that was probably impossible for both of us. I'm sure Brad is thinking.
I told her, it'd be about 15, 20 minutes, and she kind of gave me a side eye. She says, you and Alex, you guys are going to take that time up on your own.
Oh, man. Awesome. Anything you would say to someone that is at that point where they've been thinking about making that decision? Because we can always find excuses for ourselves. It could be things like, well, when we talk about this week, it could be things like gyms are closed, right? That's an excuse, right? If we think about it, because there is a way, right? But what would you say to someone in general, right? Someone in general that has been wanting to take that decision, that has felt that over the past years, maybe, their fitness journey, their life has gone, downhill in whatever way, in regards to their health and fitness. What would you share with them? What would you tell them?
I would tell them to definitely take the step, because it's synergy. If you're doing the gym and you go, especially if you're doing it with your spouse, everything else it'll balance your life out. It'll give you balance. And people don't understand me sometimes when I say that, because I say that to my close friends, hey, you're missing balance in your life. And I feel that balance is working out. You go in there together, you get in that mentality, and you start this marathon with your significant other. It becomes a part of your life. And again, it balances everything out. And that would be what I would tell people. If you're alone, it'll balance your own life out, because it'll put things into perspective for you, and it'll give you goals and it gets you where you need to go. But if you do it with somebody that you love, you start to see things, you learn new things about each other, and it gives you that perfect circle. It gives you that perfect circle in life. And that has been the most fun that I've had because of that, the balance that it's given us in life. Mm-hmm. Because we're closer today than we've ever been in our 20 plus years of being together. And I attribute that to the Fit family and everything that you guys do us. Because it's no longer just we're very involved in our children and what they do. And for a lot of years, and that's a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. Mm-hmm. Because it's always just the kids. Hey, what about that? Yeah. And now it's the kids, obviously, because that's never going to change. But the circle's closed because mom and dad have their thing, and we do it together, and it just gives balance, and that's the most important thing, I feel. It's how it's worked for me.
Yeah, totally. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, and I think like you mentioned, the fact that y'all are doing this together, it's really, like you said, bridging that gap and making the full circle all around.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to talk to Flor, because I know, and the way I would always think of it is how, as a mom, right, at home, she took that leadership also, right, to take that decision to take care of herself. And fast forward 3 years, right, and look at this, right. I would say this, as we're having this conversation too, I think, so every now and then I have these little moments, right, where I think, like 6 years ago, right, whenever we first opened our doors, or even 8 years ago, right, before we got the opportunity to open the doors to Fit Body, which was just that hunger, right, of being able to influence or to make an impact in people. And I say every so often there is these moments, right, that I have that is like, okay, like if somebody would have told me this 8 years ago, right, that we're having this conversation about how this has influenced your life and your family and so on, right, it would have been validation, right, to say that everything that was happening in that process up until today has been worth it, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, right? So thanks, though. Thank you for taking this 20-minute call into I don't know how long we've been going for now, but it was good talking, especially these days that we're just not being isolated.
One more quick thing, because it just popped into my mind. For those people, they don't have to be the same personalities. You don't have to be. My wife and I are two totally different types of people. She'll go in there. Those first 2 years, we joke. She doesn't talk a lot. She goes in, she does her work, boom. I'm the polar opposite. I go in there, I do talk. I talk during the sessions. Depending on who's there and who I'm working out with. So I would also tell people that don't think because you're different that you can't go in there and share it together. Because we can. We go in there together, and as quiet as she is, keep an eye on her when she's in there with me. Totally different person when she's in there with me. So that's important too for people to realize that. You don't have to be the same personality. You can be quiet and loud and still go in and get the same job done. Or you can be shy and outgoing and still go in and get the same job done. So that was important. I wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, I'm so glad you bring that up, because, we talk about how, and this is so cool and so important, fitness is for everyone, right? Fitness is for everyone. If you have a body, fitness is for you. And sometimes, for a lot of people, and it's normal, right? We get it. Sometimes they hesitate about making that decision. Because they might think, well, I'm not a fitness person, or I've never worked out in my life, or, I don't know how I'm going to, click with people that go to the gym, right?
Yes.
And like I said, it's normal. We understand that, right? That's why, when we have our meetings as a team, we talk about it all the time. Again, goes back to the idea that every person who walks in through the door has a story, right? But yeah, I mean, if you have a body, fitness is for you, right? Yeah. That's all it takes. You having a body, right? And then, like I said, just making that decision, taking that step to take care of yourself. And then, I guess, like we were saying today, if we were to ask you, back in the summer of 2018, would you be doing a box jump? I would probably say no. So you don't know what the future holds until you make those decisions daily. The consistency of making the right decisions over an extended period of time take you to that place, right? And all it takes is just take it day by day. Make the right decision today, right? Absolutely. For those who are at home watching us, right? What are they doing today? Right? Are they picking on the chips or setting some time to drink their water, to work out, stay active, and so on.
All right.
But awesome, Joe. Well, thank you. Thanks for taking the call. We'll be in touch these days. And
Rich,